What's up, everybody? It's your boy aka Big Zeke, coming at y'all with another weekly inspirational thought. I pray that you and your families have been doing well. And we're going to jump right into this week's thought that God blessed me with, which is entitled Take Nothing for Granted. Take nothing for granted. Now, this stems from a short video that I recorded about a month ago. The link will be in the comment section. And basically, we're just talking about not taking life for granted. A lot of times we wake up, go about our business, think we got everything planned out, think it's just going to go certain ways. And we take for granted the fact that nothing is promised to us. Tomorrow's not promised to us. The next breath we breathe isn't promised to us. Nothing is promised to us. And we got to make sure that we get out of this mindset of just taking things for granted, like we just know it's going to be there, or we just know it's going to happen the way that we want it to happen. Okay. The comments, doing a little bit of a different format of how I record these videos. So the reference scriptures will be in the comment section as well. Okay. I'm going to dive right into the thoughts that God has given me. He blessed me with 3 of them. And the first is this. Oftentimes we speak ahead of time about what's going to happen tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, and so on, not knowing what we have to face in the day ahead. Every day is different, and every day has its different struggles. Nothing is promised to us, and nothing is guaranteed, so we must be careful just assuming that everything will go the way we think it'll go and not take anything for granted. How do I know this? Well, a couple reference scriptures. The first one is from Proverbs chapter 27, verse 1, and this is the AMP version. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring. And Matthew chapter 6 verse 34 AMP as well. Do not do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Like what I was just saying. Every day has its own struggles. Every day has its own problems. So if you get up and say, oh yeah, tomorrow we going to the beach, we going to have fun, this, and this, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to go have fun at the beach or nothing like that. But how do you know you might not get called into work? How do you know you might not, have a flat tire? See, in our minds, when we plan things, we got this picture perfect way of thinking that everything is going to play out the way that we want it to. And a lot of times it doesn't. I could say right now, oh yeah, tomorrow, man, I ain't doing nothing but laying in bed all day, not doing nothing. Not knowing that I may have a phone call and I may have to get up and go address something. Not knowing that I'm going to have to get up and do whatever it is I need to do throughout the day. Not knowing that, unexpectedly, I may have to drive someone somewhere. I may have to go pick someone up, or I may have to have somebody come pick me up. And I'm just saying that as examples, okay? You never know what's going to happen in a day. I was always taught as a kid to say, Lord willing before I say anything. And as a kid, I didn't understand what that meant. But as I got older, I started to understand when you say Lord willing, that's saying that if it's God's will, if certain things are going to go a certain way. And I learned to not take for granted just even saying that and just even knowing that, because ultimately it is God's will what we're going to do day by day. So before we go out and get to planning everything and saying, oh yeah, this is going to happen like this is going to happen like that, we got to really not take for granted the fact that we don't control anything. There are a lot of things that are out of our control that we think we control. We actually think we control getting up every morning. We actually think we get control, walking around and moving around. We don't control anything. It's God's will being done. God puts breath in our bodies every day. He gives us the strength to get up and move with the activities of our limbs. It's nothing that we do, and we can't take those things for granted day to day. Okay? The next thought. Life on this earth goes by a lot faster than a lot of us would like to admit. Sometimes people leave this earth at a young age. Sometimes people leave unexpectedly due to tragedies or accidents or illnesses. And I can keep going with that. With this in mind, every moment should be precious to us because time is a very valuable resource that we can't get back. Once it's gone, it's gone. So we have to do better at not wasting our time here on this earth, as well as not taking our time here for granted. How do I know that? Well, James 4 and 14 and 15 says this, and this is the NLT version. How do you know what your life will be? How do you know what your life will be like tomorrow? Excuse me. Your life is like the morning fog. It's here a little while, then it's gone. What you ought to say is, if the Lord wants us to, we will live and do this or that. That goes back to what I was saying a second ago, Lord willing. Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 12, the NIV has this to say about it. Moreover, no one knows when their hour will come. As fish are caught in a cruel net, or birds are taken in a snare, so people are trapped by evil times that fail unexpectedly upon them. Excuse me, I can't read today. And just like what I was saying, we don't know when our time has come. We don't know. We got so many people left and right dying. You turn on the news every day, somebody's dying. Every day, somebody's leaving this earth. Time is a very precious commodity that we cannot get back. Now, am I saying we're not allowed to have relaxed days if we had a long day at work? No, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is value the time that you have and be productive with the time that you have. Be how God wants you to be with the time you have. Time is very precious. And each second that we waste, each second that we procrastinate, and I'm speaking to myself when I say this because I know I've procrastinated a lot in my life. And I'm using me as an example. Maybe if you're watching this video, maybe you're treating every moment precious. And if you are, continue to do that. Do not take time for granted, because once time is gone, it's gone. A second is gone. Like even right now, I'm talking on this video. I can look at the timer for 2 seconds. 1, 2. I can't get those 2 seconds back. Time is precious. There's no rewind button on time. So you can't rewind your life and say, oh, well, let me go do this in a couple minutes. Let me hit the rewind button. I'll go do that in a few minutes. And I'll just rewind time. No, we don't have any kind of power to do that. Okay? God is a redeemer of time. But I ain't never in my life seen God rewind time and I wake up and it's yesterday. Not saying that he couldn't do it, but I've never seen it done. And him being a redeemer time, that's something completely different that we'll get to at a later date. But y'all get what I'm saying. And short, I'll give you my version of what God being a redeemer of time, that means he'll allow us to make up time for the stuff that we messed up on or we wasted time on. Kind of like the story of, and if you get a chance, read the story of Jonah and the and the fish and the great fish. Jonah was supposed to go to Nineveh to preach. He didn't want to. He decided to disappear, caused a big old storm. He ended up telling them to toss him off the boat. He ended up in the belly of a fish. Now he had to go 3 days to make a journey. God allowed him to make that journey up in 1 day. That's God being a redeemer of the time, to make up time for what we missed already. Okay, so we have to be careful with wasting time. Just wasting our time. And I'm not talking about just sitting around doing nothing, because some people doing 15, 20 things and they're still wasting their time because those aren't the 15 or 20 things that God may have wanted you to do while you were here. We have to be careful of how we applicate our time, because it's a precious commodity. It's a precious resource that cannot be restored. Once it's gone, it's gone. And we cannot take time here for granted. Okay? And the final point that God blessed me with is this. There is a set time when God will return for his people on this earth. The thing is, no one knows when that time is, not even his son, Jesus Christ. With that being said, we need to take advantage of every second we have to make sure that we are prepared for when God makes his return, so that we can be with him forever. How do I know that? Well, Matthew 24, 43 and 44 says this in the New King James. But know this, that if the master of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched and not allowed his house to be broken into. Therefore, you also be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. Mark 13:32 through 33 AMP says this, but of the exact day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son in his humanity, but the Father alone. Be on guard and stay constantly alert and pray, for you do not know when the appointed time will come. We don't know when God is coming back. And I'm talking to the believers when I'm saying this. We don't know when God is coming back. Those who say they believe in God, those who say they believe that Jesus Christ is their Lord and Savior, we don't know when God is coming back. We just know that he's coming back. It's not like we can prepare for it and say, oh, okay, I can party all I want to, and then, all right, do what I want to do, and then now I can get ready. I can get ready at 2:58 on this day because that's the day he come back. No, it ain't working like that. We don't know when God will come back. Only he knows. So while we're here, and this goes back to not taking time for granted, we cannot take for granted the opportunity and the time we have here to get prepared to be with God forever. Okay? We cannot take time for granted. Not just time, but everything we're doing. We cannot take for granted the opportunities that are provided to us. We cannot take for granted the fact that we're able to get up and breathe and live and move and have the activities of our limbs, have our own mindset to think. Because here's the thing, some people don't have the activities of all their limbs. Some people don't have the activities of, of just using their own mind. Things have happened, issues have occurred, and they can't think straight like how you and I think. Some people can't get up and walk because of a tragic accident. Some people can't even breathe without a machine or a respirator to breathe because of an illness or something. Do not take anything for granted. Some people are no longer here to utilize their time because they're gone. And I'm not saying that in a harsh way. I'm saying that's the reality. So we have to make sure that we're not taking anything for granted. Use our time wisely. Use our opportunities wisely. Use our resources wisely. Because you never know when we're no longer going to have access to them. That's the video for this week. I thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Take care of one another. Be safe out there. Continue to pray for me as I pray for you. Love one another. Take nothing for granted. And as always, be inspired.